standing tall on NATO's eastern front. A European armada on alert for threats to its economic lifelines.
Of course, you feel much more confident knowing that you are a member of NATO when you're out there and when you experience Russians on the sea.
And Chinese ships with Russian crews suspected of sabotage.
Russia couldn't be in the war right now at this point if there wasn't Chinese support.
High stakes on the high seas as war continues to rage in nearby Ukraine, destabilizing the entire region.
Because you could be next.
We could be next.
All of us are thinking that what happens the next? Can we be the next target?
I'm about to embark on the HMS Sundsvall, one of the corvettes in the Swedish Navy, as it's about to take part in one of this nation's first missions as the newest member of NATO.
The Sundsvall cuts through choppy waters. It's traversing the shallow and strategic Baltic Sea on a mission quite unlike any other. As the newest member of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, the Swedes are taking part in Operation Freezing Winds, a NATO exercise hosted by neighboring Finland, another newly minted partner in the alliance. After Russia's large-scale invasion of Ukraine in 2022, both countries chose to abandon their longtime stances as neutral, non-aligned nations for the sake of security. Lieutenant Commander Jonas Lofgren is the Sundsvall's captain.
Something that wasn't going to happen did actually happen, that Russia invaded one of their neighbors. So it was quite an awakening for the whole Swedish society and of course the Swedish armed forces.
Bit of a shock.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bit of a shock for the entire region.
Yeah.
All of Russia's neighbors.
Yeah.
What do you think will happen should Ukraine fall?
I don't want to think in that context, but you have to as a military. God forbid, because Russia can acknowledge for themselves that it's okay to invade other countries and being successful. So, well, of course, NATO will be much more important than it already is, which is very important.
It is in the belly of this state-of-the-art vessel where constant surveillance and detection takes place. Cat and mouse, east and west, a new Cold War. Each side, for now, keeping its distance, but suspicions are high. NATO's Article 5 states should any member be attacked, it's collective security. An attack on one is an attack on all, including the United States. Eleanor Larson is a surface warfare officer.
What's a surface warfare officer do?
The surface-to-surface missile is our main weapon. So we're kind of just coordinating the surface picture, so all the civil ships, we know about them.
The Baltic is not a deep body of water. Belligerents can get up to no good here, causing potential chaos without firing a shot. Just as we were crossing in late November, one of those civil ships, the Chinese-flagged bulk carrier Yipeng 3, was accused of dragging its anchor along the seabed, cutting vital undersea data cables linking Finland and Germany, Sweden and Lithuania.
In the case of Baltic Sea cable cutting, it was a Chinese ship with the Russian crew. So we can argue that China has done it already years.
It happened again in late December. Finland's President Alexander Stubb says heightened security in the Baltic is a priority.
The Finnish government and Finnish authorities have been dealing with an incident in the Baltic Sea whereby 4 cables have been broken.
The Eagle S, a tanker suspected of being part of Russia's shadow fleet, skirting Western sanctions by covertly transporting Russian crude oil, is accused of dragging its anchor and cutting cables, including electricity cables, between Estonia and Finland. The Finnish Navy halted and boarded the ship, which, according to some reports, was outfitted with electronic spy gear.
It's too soon to draw conclusions yet why this happened. We know who did it.
I think they are pretty sophisticated if we often are not even able to tell who is behind the activity.
Thank you.
It's not traditional warfare, but it is hybrid warfare, says Helsinki security analyst Aleksi Aho, keeping the region off balance.
We are seeing the rise of China and also Russia increasingly trying to promote this idea of Ruski Mir, meaning the Russian world in its neighborhood. And there is this rising coalition of autocracies working together all over the world, developing new methods to destabilize our societies.
The former U.S. ambassador to Ukraine is John Herbst. He is now the senior director of the Atlantic Council's Eurasia Center. He would like to see a more vigorous response from NATO and the United States.
Putin will wait and see how NATO, led by the United States, reacts. We've seen a real uptick in Russian sabotage operations in Europe, and even an effort to put bombs on a DHL plane heading to the United States. No response from NATO. That's a serious failure of will and of policy. So Putin's already playing with NATO's deterrence right now. Those games will grow in severity and in frequency.
Just ask the people who live here if Russian aggression is affecting them.
Finland was a non-aligned country for so long. How do you feel about the fact that you are now members of NATO?
I think this was a very good, actually, thing what happened, and I wonder why it took so long for us to join the NATO. Unfortunately, we were forced to wait the conflict in Ukraine, but it's good, and I'm really happy for that.
Should Vladimir Putin win the war in Ukraine and Ukraine falls, how are the other neighbors of Russia, like you, going to look at their safety?
I believe that the Northern Europe or the Scandinavia or Baltics, we will not accept that Putin will win. And I truly trust that it will not happen. I hope so.
Are you surprised that it's almost as if the Cold War is coming back?
Of course we're surprised. We were really trustful for a peaceful life.
Are you afraid?
No, I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid, but of course thinking about all the possibilities. All the possibilities.
Deep in the forests of Finland, they are keenly aware of present and past tensions with their Russian neighbor. There's been a border here in places since the 1500s, often a flashpoint for incursion and dispute.
Of course.
It is Matti Pitkanini's job to patrol this border in the Karelia region of Finland.
What do you think is going to happen if Russia wins in Ukraine?
That is, I think, $1 million question. Maybe if I can answer to you with a question. Have you ever met a millionaire who, after earning his or her first million, has said that this is enough, I don't want any more? I don't think so.
So it's pretty isolated here.
Yeah, it is remote areas. The blue and white border mark, that's the Finnish side. The red and green is on the Russian side, and the small white pole there in the middle, that is the exact borderline.
Oh, okay.
So there is no no man's zone in between, but it's exact line going from that white pole to the next border mark, which the pair you can see over there. So that over there is Russia.
Finland shares a border with Russia that is 837 miles long. And while much of it is very quiet and peaceful like it is here, no one knows for sure what is really going on just on the other side.
There's history in these silent woods.
Some of the Finnish towns have suffered heavy damage.
In the Second World War, the Finns repelled a Red Army invasion in the dead of winter. It is remembered simply as the Winter War, where Finnish soldiers in snow gear and on skis turned the Russians back.
It's very historic, and
Yeah,
it's a moment of pride for the Finnish people.
Yeah.
That they pushed them back.
Yeah, it is, but of course we didn't push them back completely. That area over there, that used to be Finnish territory 100 years ago. So that is a part of the Finland that we lost. Nowadays it's accepted in the society in a big way, but yes, we lost many brave Finns when we in the Second World War trying to keep our independence and keep our land.
A barren strip of no man's land with many eyes and ears. Russia has been using hybrid tactics here too, flooding Finnish towns by forcing migrants across the border, overwhelming the system. Migrants on children's bicycles who had no idea where they were or what they were being forced to do. The Finns, used to Russia's game playing, put down a marker of their own, closing all their land borders with Russia.
If we start losing here, and we show that you can get away with that kind of things. All of us are thinking that what happens the next? Can we be the next target?
Sweden and Finland gave up neutrality to join NATO following Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Now they're providing their citizens with written guidance on how to prepare and survive should, quote, hostile entities threaten their national security.
If the time comes, we're gonna do what needs to be done.
You'll have to go to the army? You will anyway though, yeah? Yeah. You're going to serve your country.
In the 3 years since the invasion of Ukraine, no country has taken more notice than the small border nation of Estonia, which along with the other Baltic states was brutalized by the Soviets.
This is one of NATO's easternmost borders. On one side of the river is Narva, Estonia, and on the other is Russia. And Vladimir Putin has already said that he has designs on retaking Narva.
With an Estonian flag on one side and a Russian flag on the other, the city of Narva and its 13th century castle sit precariously within arm's reach of a much larger neighbor and former master. Estonians often display their animosity towards Vladimir Putin's expansionism from their castle on their side of the river.
What happens to Estonia if Putin wins Ukraine?
We never thought about it, actually.
Why?
I don't know.
It's terrifying to think about this.
Yes, and the part of our brain is just blocking.
This scary thought about...
Yeah, because we don't know what this guy wants and what consequences this will bring to us.
The Narva border today is closed to all but foot traffic. It's an eerie place, like a grainy black and white Cold War spy thriller.
Were the Russians sending people over like they were at other border crossings?
Last year there was 3 attempts. All was stopped in the middle. Nobody crossed.
Nobody got in?
No.
Why were they doing it?
You must ask from them. Sorry. Okay. This question you must ask from them. Why are they doing this? But it was organized, of course.
It was organized.
For sure.
Do you worry about them?
Of course we are worried, but not scared.
But not scared?
If you're scared, don't work here.
Maybe don't live here.
Well, I'm 23 years here. So.
Yeah.
Still alive.
Already the heavy hand of the Nazi has begun its insufferable...
The Baltic states of Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania were overrun in the Second World War, first by the Nazis, then the Soviets. Citizens were murdered or exiled to Siberian labor camps. Today, long lines wait to cross the Narva Bridge for visits to relatives on the Russian side or cheap shopping.
Everyone who wants to go to Russia, to their relatives, friends, have to use this way.
More difficult than before.
Yeah.
Complete and thorough security checks stamp out any smuggling and sanction busting.
We know this plan of Putin. We know this. And he said some months ago he wants to took back Narva. And of course this is very serious message from Putin, but we trust God. Not Putin, not Biden,
Trump?
Not Trump.
In the Estonian capital of Tallinn, the deputy director of the Police and Border Patrol says Russia's hybrid harassment is a daily occurrence.
Have they also been sort of jamming your radio signals or communication attack?
Yes, they're doing that. GNSS jamming is everyday thing. Basically, every day GNSS signals is Russian Federation try to jam them down, and it's sometimes it affects our commercial aircraft companies, and we have been some cases where they wasn't able land.
While Vladimir Putin has suggested that he invaded Ukraine to keep NATO out of his backyard, his actions have resulted in just the opposite. These are NATO tanks, new British Challenger tanks to be exact, inside Estonia.
The UK understands their part in defending NATO's eastern flank, says to me that, yeah, at least in this part of the world, we would be ready to fight tomorrow.
So what is new?
British Major Jean-Sébastien Cormier says a full British brigade, some 3,000 troops, now stands at the ready only 100 kilometers from the Russian border, should Putin get aggressive.
Perhaps part of your job is to now show that aggressor that you're serious.
And I think that we do that every day by being here, by having our people here, by rehearsing brigade deployments out here, as we did with 16 Air Assault Brigade last year, as we will do with 4 Brigade this year. That's how we do it. We show by being absolutely clear that those things are here when they need to be, and are integrated and work seamlessly with the allies and partners that they need to, because that's what's going to be the winning combination here.
What we have seen is that now Europe is awakening. They are starting to pour money into defense, and they're really starting to take the European defense seriously.
Estonian Major General Vahar Karas says his government has been warning its Western allies for years about Putin's ultimate goals and is ready to respond if Putin acts on them.
What happens if Vladimir Putin wins the war in Ukraine?
Baltic states would, for them, maybe seem like the most kind of suitable next target, taking the Baltic countries kind of small number of inhabitants. It's a very narrow territory, but every day we are working to get this message over to Russia that even if you try, we will make you pay. Right from the first moment you want to try something with us.
Do you feel a little bit like Czechoslovakia in 1939 or something?
No, because we are members of NATO. Czechoslovakia was pretty much alone at that moment. And if the question is whether Estonia can do it alone, well, we are not alone. We have the Latvians, we have the Lithuanians, we have the whole NATO. And we know that Article 5 works, because otherwise the countries in Western Europe and across the Atlantic will have larger problems they have to start to solve if NATO is not working.
I think is that if Russia will succeed in Ukraine, then we don't have this international world order we used to have. It means that you can change the borders of independent country with war.
In a Tallinn park, we meet former Estonian intelligence officer Marek Kov, now of the International Center for Defense and Security. His take? In assessing the security threats the Kremlin poses, the West also needs to call out Putin's bluffs.
I don't think Putin is irrational man. I think he is very rational in the case where he has to calculate the consequences of economic harm and so on. And I would say that he understands that his army is without reserves right now, and he has to understand that NATO's nuclear power is way over Russian nuclear power. So in this case, I would say that he's bluffing a lot, and we shouldn't perceive his bluffs as powerful.
Are China and Russia that allied?
They are definitely allied. It's for sure that Russia couldn't be in the war right now at this point if there wasn't Chinese support. So Chinese are giving material support. They are buying Russian oil, but they are also providing some dual-use technology.
You want to stop Putin? You don't have to lose one American soldier. Just arm Ukraine appropriately and allow them to use our weapons as they see fit. In conjunction, talking to us, but as they see fit.
And finish the job.
Yes. The weakness of our policy under Biden has increased the chance of ultimately a clash between the United States and either Russia or China. There are people around Trump, the loudest people around Trump, who would pursue a policy far weaker than Biden's. And like Biden, they've been intimidated by Moscow's nuclear bluster. I also understand that people in Trump's camp are very concerned that this could also be Biden's disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan moment. That too is a positive indicator that they will seek an endurable peace, a sustainable peace.
Trump, as a president, as a leader of the free world, has this opportunity now become the Churchill of our time.
This is Estonian Foreign Minister Margus Tsahkna. He has high hopes for President Donald Trump's new administration.
I agree with Trump and also all the other previous US presidents during the last maybe 15 years. Europe must pay more. We must invest more to our defense. Estonia is doing this year 3.4% of GDP, and on top of that, our new government decided to invest to fulfill the NATO regional defense plans.
The assault on Ukraine continues. Civilians die, homes and cities and livelihoods wrecked. Yet, Ukrainians fight on. But roughly 3 years after Putin's invasion, the war is entering what seems to be a final phase, and a deal to end it seems within grasp.
Putin is using this opportunity to declare the terms and also to declare the victory. Or he takes it as a pause to start again the aggression in Ukraine or wherever. Though we must be very clear that this peace is not peace only for Ukraine. This peace must be the peace in our region and a clear message to everybody that you cannot use the force without responsibilities.
Ukraine's neighbors will not think of letting Putin win.
We must be ready to guarantee this agreement, boots on the ground. And I repeat once and more that NATO is the best way for that. NATO membership, NATO troops, NATO as an organization to guarantee the peace is the most efficient and also the most powerful. But also European leaders must discuss the opportunity, if there won't be the full membership of NATO as a part of the peace agreement, then there must be a real security. All the authoritarian regimes and dictatorships, so-called evil guys, they are watching very carefully what will be results of this aggression.
Because you could be next.
We could be next.
This is your country.
This is our country. But this is not only our country. This is a border between democracies and dictatorship.